So what's going on, y'all? How are you all doing? And welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you, and I am in my new space. The contractor finished with this area, and so I am back into my living room slash. Well, now it's a designated office space, which I am so excited. How you guys like the view in the back? Yeah, look, you get to see the city now. And so look, a little bit of greenery back there. The house is still being worked on. And but you can definitely hear the acoustics in this room versus the other room. And so we're back in a free space. Lighting is good. Everything is good. So welcome. Touch Base Daily on this wonderful Tip Tuesday. And what are we talking about today on this Tip Tuesday? Photographing protest, how to do it right. And we know that this Saturday, June 14th, is No Kings protest, marches around the country. And I know some of you will be out there photographing. This event is supposed to be the most, that biggest turnout in American history. So there's so many people signing up. They interviewed someone yesterday. I forget which platform it was, but someone on MSNBC somewhere, and they was sharing that because of Trump's craziness in LA and all the other things he's doing, the registration has been off the charts. So there are people that are going to be protesting and putting out their voice into the world and saying we will not be what do you want to call it? Distracted. We won't be distracted by the Elon, and we won't be distracted by the LA. We won't be distracted by all the things that Trump is trying to get us off of what's going on. Remember, he's the master of deception. It's like someone that we know in the Bible, right? Deception. He is a master at deception. Look over here while I do here. Or this happened, and I don't want you to talk about this. Notice by the LA whole situation in LA, which I had a great chance. Oh, did you guys see Joy Reid's new show? The Joy Reid show is on. It started yesterday, and she's out there, and she was sharing that there's nothing going on other than in a couple of block radius. Trump is acting like all of LA is burning down and people are losing their minds. So think about this. Right out my window is, you guys can see in a little bit, is maybe between myself and the park is about 8 blocks, if that much. The incidents, the protests are happening in small areas. There is no need for 2,000 National Guard for a couple of hundred people. And there was there was some people that were obviously agitators. Yes, there's always some in the midst. However, for the most part, all of the protests have been peaceful. They did not start getting rowdy or agitated until the police, the National Guard, and Trump and his 2 cents began to agitate the people, agitate the crowds, agitate. And I do believe what the mayor, I'm with her. I think she says she believes that Trump is using this as a test case, that they're a testing ground for what he wants to do around the country. And I believe her. I am on the same page as her. And now notice also this is what Joy Reid brought up yesterday, is that he is antagonizing all of the mayors that the mayors are there are black mayors of these cities. Notice, he's an agitator. He's a deception mastermind. Think also what happened this weekend that did not make it to the news. Like, it made it to some places on the news, but it didn't make it to the mainstream news. Trump falling on the staircase, which they send memes about it all weekend, right? Trump was going up the steps and he fell, like stumbled as he was going up the steps. Well, the LA, all this stuff in LA has taken the air out the room about all the other stuff that's going on. Also, by doing the LA, what happened to the Elon and Trump story? Sucked their air out. What happened to the story that Trump was connected to Epstein? Sucked it out. This guy is the mastermind of deception. Yes, he is. He knows how to change the subject. Put something else out there that the media will grab hold of. Mainstream, the institutionals. And then it will suck the air out of what's going on. Meanwhile, he is also supposedly meeting with have some major meeting, I think in Camp David, with all these military people to discuss Saturday's big event for the Army, which some people allegedly feel, like I feel, that this is a cloaking, maybe a Trojan horse to get the military into DC. In the midst of this big protest, also is happening. So guys, don't be bamboozled. Always remember, if this man is doing something here, we need to be looking around the corner for what he's really doing. Or Elise says, email the link again. The one I got isn't working. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay, hold on a second. Let me get that out to you. I sent a new one out to you. Let's send them out. Okay. Let me see if I send these out again. Maybe they didn't go. Maybe they did not reach their destination. I know some of you guys are busy. I know, like, Gwendolyn's on the road and Mr. Chris is doing his work. And but I'm throwing this out here to you guys. I did send it to Fifi because I know Fifi was in the room and I wanted to make sure if she wanted to come on, she could come on as well. So I did send it out to everybody. I'm gonna try it again. I'll try it again. Okay, here we go. I think we got it all. And I'm gonna send it again. Okay. Deception is this man's main objective. Let me get this off the screen. Right? Deception. Changing the narrative. Did I say good morning to you guys? I forgot to say good morning. I came out the gate excited. Brian gets the gold medal today. Mr. Brian Young. He says, happy Tuesday, family. And then the wonderful Felicia Button is in the building. Happy Tuesday, she says, with the silver. And Jazzy Jazz is in the building with good morning, beautiful people, with the bronze. Chris R is in the building. Make sure you hit those likes, y'all. Make sure you hit the likes. And Janet is in the building. Janet Fisher is in the building. Hey, Touch Base Daily family. Greetings from rainy New York City. And Bryson says, what's up, Ron? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, Touch Base Daily fam? Happy Taco Tuesday, the day after BET Awards. Yes, how was the awards? I did not see the awards. I was busy changing my house around, so moving furniture around all night long. But how was the BET Awards? Bryson says the BET Award was on the last night, biggest stars, and Deutsche make a statement, and Tyler Perry made a statement, and 106 in Park turning 25 years and biggest performance. Okay, see, and Lee says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Is the link working, y'all? Is the link working, Elise? I sent it out to you again. This is definitely the test case, Elise says. And Aya's in the building. She says, grand rising, Ron and everyone. Elise says, it said that the session ended. Oh, okay, try it again. Try the new one. It's still saying that the session ended. Really? Really? That's odd. That I'm sending the link and I'm in the show and it's not working. Maybe there's something wrong with StreamYard then. There is something wrong with StreamYard. Sorry. I don't know another way to get you guys in here. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me copy. If you copy the code on the screen, QR code. If you click on the QR code, is it working? The QR code. Let me make sure that's that. I think that's I'm pretty sure I updated that as well. Hopefully that's working. Maybe the email's not working. Don't know. Okay, yeah, it looks like I have the correct one there. The correct one is there. So there you have it. Try that. Try the QR code. It might work. The QR code might work. Okay, so there we are. And technology, right? Technology. Some days you have those bad days when it comes to technology. And I see here in the building, Chris says, I thought it was one of their best award shows. It lasted 5.5 hours. Holy moly. Y'all watched the BET Awards for 5.5 hours? That's a long time. That's a long time. Holy moly. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Bryson said it was the best, and Jamie Foxx was given the Icon Award. Mariah Carey, Kirk Franklin, and Snoop Dogg, best speech. I did not watch. Who watched? Who else watched the BET Awards? Ooh, it was over by 1 a.m. Well, I could have watched it, but I was busy. I was busy cleaning up the house. I'm so glad to have somewhat of a recognizable, even I still have lots of furniture now to move from the bedroom into here, the living room today, so the painter could get in the bedroom and start painting, because hopefully this will be ending by tomorrow, at least by Thursday. And then I can have my space back. But yeah, BET. Elise, is it still not working? Elise, is it still not working? Obviously, because you're not here, right? If it was working, I would have heard you coming up the doorway, coming up the pathway. Yes. Anyway, so we got clips from last night. You got clips from last night, Bryson? Jazzy says, I didn't know the BET Awards were on, but the clips looked nice. I did not see it. Did not see it. I'm drinking out of my moonshine glass. Bryson says, Brian says, I'll catch BET re-airing on Hulu Thursday. Oh, okay. We can catch, that's right, Brian. We can catch it on the replay. We can catch it on Hulu. I don't know if I'm going to watch it for 5 hours. 5 hours? That's a long time. That's a long time. So, what do you guys want to talk about this morning? I really don't have much to talk about other than this weekend. Well, how about this? Let me bring you to the, anything that's related to No King. How about that? The No King March is coming up. Any of you participating in the No King March and protests this weekend? And let's see here. Let's see what we can bring up on this. I see there's No King's protest near me against Donald Trump. Economic Times. MSNBC, suppression tactics backfires as No King's events mushroom. That's the one I want. Okay, here we go. We'll set this up because I believe this is what I saw last night. So I want to bring it to your attention. Okay, come on, commercials. Okay, here we go. Oops. There we go. Then we pause it. Here we go. No King's Day. That's the one I saw. Yes, it was our girl, Rachel Maddow. Yes. I want to share. Please watch Jamie Foxx and Tyler Perry speeches. Impactful. I'm thinking about it. My church is going. I might go out to this one. I might go out on Saturday to photograph the biggest one. Here we go. Let me share my screen so you can see this. This is very good. I love it. Listen to our wonderful Maddow.
So people can better understand how to interact with law enforcement or provocateurs during the demonstrations. Then 2 days later, on Thursday, another big nationwide Zoom call. They're calling it a pre-mobilization mass call.
Let me go to the very beginning again. Sorry about that. Let me go.
Saturday, it's Flag Day. Happy Flag Day. It's also President Trump's birthday. It's also the day of his big North Korean dictator-style military parade in Washington. More tanks and guns unloading this afternoon.
Look at all of those tanks. Do you really need all those tanks for a parade?
Saturday is also the day organizers are planning the next very large nationwide day of protest against Trump and what Trump is doing to the country. Even as Trump panics and inexplicably calls in the military over protests in Los Angeles, this Saturday's protests are being organized by a large coalition of groups and grassroots organizers in all 50 states, all across the country. They're calling it No Kings, the No Kings Day of Defiance. They said this today, quote, "The No Kings mobilizations on June 14th were already planned as a peaceful stand against authoritarian overreach and the gross abuse of power this administration has shown. Now, this military escalation," meaning what's happening in Los Angeles, only confirms what we have known. This government wants to rule by force, not serve the people. From major cities to small towns, we will rise together and say we reject political violence. We reject fear as governance. We reject the myth that only some deserve freedom. On Saturday, June 14th, more than 1,800 rallies will take place across the country, peaceful, organized, and united. The No Kings movement has posted a map online showing where those 1,800 plus rallies will be held. I should tell you, and I think this is important, of those 1,800, more than 100 of those have been added to the map since Trump announced that he was sending the National Guard into LA. If he was hoping to get people to not protest, it's backfiring. Organizers are going to hold a series of online trainings this week ahead of the big day. Tomorrow, it's a Know Your Rights training that they're doing nationwide by Zoom so people can better understand how to interact with law enforcement or provocateurs during the demonstrations. Then 2 days later, on Thursday, another big nationwide Zoom call. They're calling it a pre-mobilization mass call.
Take notes of these guys. Take notes.
Potentially tens of thousands of people are going to be on that call. It's basically just to talk strategy ahead of the big day Saturday. But tonight, as the Trump administration does its best to try to turn the streets of L.A. into a war zone, as Trump's flop sweat and lack of political ideas is manifested in National Guardsmen and now Marines being sent to the streets of L.A., the determination of the No Kings organizers appears to be clear. Many protests, bigger than ever, peacefully, joyfully, everywhere, and unstoppable. There's nothing he fears more.
It can be hard.
Nice, right? So that's what's happening this weekend. And that's what's happening leading up to it. That's why today I am also sharing photographing protests, how to do it right. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So that way, all you folks, you can use this information not just as a photographer, but you can use it as someone that's going to attend. Some of the things you want to keep in mind when you are out there, how to be safe, how to stay safe, what to observe, what to look for. Not every state is going to be the same. Some states will have police out there, I'm sure. And if we come out, if Black folks come out, if people of color come out, well, really the Black folks, there will be police. And if the numbers are right, a lot of people are coming out. This particular march across the country, protests across the country, supporting in solidarity. Yeah, Elise says, Ron, I sent a video to the group chat that is very informative on how to protest. Yeah, where is it? You sent it to the group chat. Did it pop up? I don't see it in the chat. So yeah. So guys, make sure you are in tune. Just go onto Google. There's a lot going on. Just hit in No Kings protests near me. No Kings protests. No Kings and what is happening. You know, put it out there. Yeah, that way when you're out there in these streets, you are informed. Okay? Let me see if there's another one. There may be another one I want to share. And here's one. And this is an article from Patch. We have a Patch here in New York City. We have Patch in New York. We have a couple of Patch, but this one is from Patch. And let me share this with you. Let me share this with you as well. Here we go. And this should help you also. Here we go. This is from Patch. No Kings protest to be held Saturday in Reston. What to know? Demonstrators plan a nonviolent protest of Saturday's military parade celebration President Trump's 79th birthday. Make that make sense. A protester holds up a puppet. Okay, there we got that. Protesters in Reston and across the country will take the streets Saturday in New Kings rallies nationwide to coincide with the military parade commemorating. Oh, couldn't get my words out there. The U.S. Army's 250th anniversary that falls on Donald Trump's 79th birthday. June 14 is also Flag Day. No Kings is a nationwide day of defiance. According to organizers, from city blocks to small towns, from courthouses, steps to community parks, we're taking action to reject authoritarianism and show the world what democracy really looks like. On Saturday, a morning visibility event is planned for 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and this is Reston. But I would check your schedule for wherever you are in America. It's going to change, I'm sure, whatever place you are. Okay? But just so you know, there are places you can go to Patch, New York. You can go to Patch. This happens to be Virginia. If I put in here 11205, I'm sure it will come up. Like mine is Fort Greene. Just put Brooklyn, New York in there, and it will give you all the other stuff as well. So, again, look it up. Be inquisitive. Find out how you can get involved. Now, like I said, I know some of us are sitting these marches out and these protests, but I do believe a lot of us will be coming out on this Saturday because it's such a big event and because of what's going on in LA, which is uncalled for, having soldiers and now saying he's going to bring the Marines in, American troops on American soil against Americans? Is this where we are It's like the guys at Midas Touch had, they said, we are already in a dictatorship. For all those folks that say, oh, like I have friends, they just can't fathom where we are. I tell them all the time, democracy is already over. The democracy is gone. We are already in the beginning stages of a dictatorship, authoritarianism. We are already here. We are already here. There's no, oh, I think it's coming. We are here. There you go. Dr. Thurday said it was a dictatorship from 120 since the first day he got his he got his parts inside the White House. Yes, we are already in a dictatorship. I talked to my friend. He's from Syria, migrated to America to escape the Syrian, I forgot the president's name, regime that was in charge of Syria and was a dictator that the Russians supported and propped up. I think his name is Hassan. And then he finally escaped. But the stuff my friend tells me of what went on in Syria as they began to lose their rights, began to have no rights at all, how they had to put a picture up in all of their homes of that man. And that every morning they had to say a pledge of allegiance or do some kind of ritual to the picture. And if someone felt like you weren't doing it, then the people would tattletale on you. And if you did not worship or support the leader, the dear leader, you went to jail, you went to prison. Sounds familiar? Sounds familiar? We are already in a dictatorship. We are already here. We are already here. And the faster Americans realize that we are already here, the more we can do something about it. Don't put your head in the sand. Don't put your head in the sand. We all have to stand up. He cannot arrest everyone. He cannot incarcerate everyone. If 300 million people, well, we know 1 million, we know that 100 million probably are with him. But if 200 million people are standing up against this man, he can't do. His power is diminished by every person that stands up. Every person that stands up diminishes his power. And he says, we have the 10 commandments in classrooms in some states. That's right, Texas. G says, Texas just passed legislation to add the 10 commandments to schools here. And they want to do it in Oklahoma. Remember, in Oklahoma, they want to make sure you have a Bible in every classroom. Well, what happens to the Buddhist child? What happens to the Muslim child? What happens to the atheist? What happens to the agnostic? What happens to their rights? What last I checked is that in their form of their history, which we were taught in school, the colonizers, they came here to leave religious persecution. It's kind of strange that they're doing the same exact thing that they say their forefathers escaped from Europe from. This is not a Christian nation. It is not. It's a nation of many religions, many people, many cultures, many ethnicities, many races. America is a melting pot of people from all over the world. There are only a couple of few. I mean, the indigenous people that lived here are the only ones that are born, that were here when those pilgrims fleeing religious persecution ended up on these soils. Jaddy says they are proving time and time again that they don't read books and they don't know their history. And they're not even reading their Bibles as much as they cling to them. Don't cling, read. Don't read, don't cling to your Bibles, read them. And if you did, you will realize it says love your brother as yourself. Bryson Lee says, democracy is officially over. And this is dictatorship, and we going backwards, and this is war. If you haven't seen the movie Civil War, you may want to check it out. Even I think it's more of a photographer's theme story. I love it. I think all photographers should see Civil War. If you're a photographer and you haven't seen the movie Civil War, rent it, check it out. It really is great for photographers. However, the theme of it all makes you say, yeah, this is happening. When we saw it last year, we said this could happen. Now we can say it is happening. What we saw in Civil War is happening. We're in the first stages of it. Jaddy says, facts. They definitely haven't read a Bible. And if they have, their reading comprehension is trash. Yes. D. Tuggle's in the building. What's up, Mr. D. Tuggle? Mr. Derek T. Tuggle's in the building. Mr. D's on the West Coast. He knows LA. He knows Trump is BSing. There's only a couple of marches. And they're only marching, like the mayor said, when ICE is going after someone. And then the people gather to say, stop. You can't do this to this person. You can't take this mother away from her child. That's when people start getting agitated. But you have to say, why is Trump calling out 2,000 National Guards and didn't even prep for them? Because there were photos of them yesterday. They have no place to sleep. They're sleeping on the floor. They haven't given them the resources. All for the photo ops. The IG group chat. Okay, thank you. The IG group chat. Let me check the IG group chat. Okay, let me go into that. Thank you, Elise. We got many ways of connecting, don't we? We have many ways of connecting. We have a little chat there. Let me go to that, to the message. And come on. Now, why is this acting up? Okay, here we go. Archives. Okay, why is my messages not coming up? Always. Oh, there we go. There we go. I found you. I found it. Elise, I gotcha. This is from DL. Which one? The one from DL Hughley? Oh, the LA wind condition. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up. Wind condition. Here we go. Here we go. Presentation. This is from Elise has sent this to us. And here we go. And nice. Okay, are we can y'all see it? Can y'all see it? Here we go.
That's it. So any municipal breakaways, Glendale just canceled its ICE contract. That's precedent because every city that follows turns protests into a policy cascade. So the goal is just to turn LA into the first domino, and it puts public pressure on Santa Ana, Long Beach, etc. to follow suit. The second win condition is any public moral awakening. NPR timed to finally portraying protesters as concerned citizens and not just rioters. The goal is just to keep centering family stories, detain workers, union arrests, and make the morality too heavy to ignore because the public is starting to distinguish between federal cruelty and local compassion. The third win condition is lawsuits and oversight. So California's AG, their Attorney General Rob Bonta, just sued over unauthorized federal enforcement, right? Back this lawsuit with mass mobilization. This turns any narrative into legal leverage, but also cross-city solidarity. So San Francisco, Chicago, Boston, Houston, they all had their spin-off protests. If a synchronizing message emerges out of this, 5 to 7 cities chanting the same demand at the same time, it'll overwhelm the federal media control immediately. But there's key risks. And we're going to go through those too. There is currently no unified demand. In the raids is vague. That is not going to work. Protect sanctuary cities by law. That's a little better. Abolish ICE is polarizing. We need to be concerned about the message. Movements without demands become media spectacles without memory. Any rally that is behind winnable asks like emergency citywide ICE moratorium, that's a way to fix that. That's the way to rally behind that, because that's something better to say than in the raids. Emergency citywide ICE moratorium. See what I mean? Get that narrative together. Then here's our other risk. Violent optics do persist. Like really bad. Burning cars, highway blocks, tactical gear versus flag bearers. The medium turns the just cause into a chaotic image of fear and disruption. So visual peace with narrative cohesion is necessary, right? Narrative precision, visual peace, protest art, grandmothers on the front lines, cultural symbols of peace. There's a way things need to look. This is what I mean by the narrative warfare. But here's another thing. So Trump frames the protest before the protest framing itself is a major risk. He's already calling it an uprising, open border insurrection, and seditious. So they see that as a test of strength, not justice. So if the story is about control, he wins. So the only way out of that kind of thing is to reclaim the stage, publicly framing it as a moral emergency, not even a political one. Turn this into the next George Floyd level infliction by showing its human stakes, legal violations, and constitutional breach. Now, here's one of those things I want to say to black people. Our grief has already been militarized. They've already targeted us enough. We don't need to send our support, like physically on the ground. No. But they will come for us with this method. This is very key to watch. Very key to watch and to document. Please pay attention here. This is not, even though the stay out of his side is what I agree on, it is important to document what their tactics look like. It really is. But here's the other risk. Any type of movement fragmentation. Because without visible leadership or a unified communication, even internal allies are unsure what just even comes next out of this. So local energy won't translate into national momentum. We need a rotating spokesperson, like faith leaders, union reps, dreamers, just any morning brief. Just open up. You don't need permission. Just open up in the morning, just talking about the situation yourself. It doesn't even matter if it has views. We need documentation. That's the big thing. This literally needs to be psychological jujitsu. We need to use their spectacle against them, humanize faster than they can militarize, and render the invisible visible in this case. The messaging also needs to be a lot stronger, because they need to be like, we're not radicals. We are mothers, workers, neighbors, trying to protect our homes from the federal aggression, and you don't need to agree with our politics to see that our humanity is being violated. That's real. That's real, right? Because we need to stay in an anchor place. This is about LA, not DC. Okay, emotion over ideology. center immigrant stories, children's drawings, elders testifying, and literally frame ICE as an uninvited foreign force in a city that never gave consent. We're at war with the camera. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to get. I'm trying to get y'all to get it. We're at war with the camera. It has nothing to do with anything going on over there. It's not even in the best spot. Like the whole riot. Not even in the best spot. But the camera's vulnerable. So, any public altars for detained families, candlelight visuals overpowering riot gear, important. Any mothers in prayer circles versus soldiers, a haunting inversion, important. Any legal observers in neon vests, non-violence made hyper-visible, important. Drone footage of peaceful marchers being surrounded to trap the state in its own excess. That's the way to do this, right? The thing is that people got to understand that we also have to have a refusal to flinch. So his whole game is to escalate until we react destructively. That's basically the whole game. So win at this game. Disciplined silence at tense moments. Refusing to chant when cameras arrive. Making protesters look more trustworthy than the people in uniform. All of that actually matters in causing a narrative breakthrough. See, but this is what victory conditions actually look like. And it's not going to be found in the cheering. No, nothing like that. But this is my scorecard on the event. It's a very tangible one. I would give it, this is not the most ideal event ever. It's just enough energy behind it to get it cooking. I would literally give it like a 4 out of 10, but the camera is vulnerable, and that's the aim. That's the aim. Any Democrat that's been looking for, or a leftist that's been looking for an angle at this whole thing, the camera is the most vulnerable it's ever been, and I hope that y'all have a great time with it. This is literally, I'm talking about, if you like the.
So we got him. We get it. He is on a roll, and he is right. He is right. That is one of the reasons why I will probably be out there on Saturday, because of the camera. He is on point. We as photographers, we who are going to be out there documenting this, yes. Elise said, this is why photographers that I know, that I associate with, we photograph, especially our community. We photograph the joys. We photograph the smiles. We photograph the good times. The media is, the commercial media is always going to give the negative snapshots. So we don't care about them. We photographers, when we go out on June 14th, those that are us that are going to go out there, we're looking for, like he said, the old woman, the senior seasoned woman that's on the front line. We are looking for the moms and dads and children hanging together, walking in the protest line. We, photographers, are looking for the camaraderie. We're looking for the love. We're looking for the connection. We're looking for the partnership. That's what we photographers will be doing on June 14th. Those of us that are going to go out. What time is it? It's time for some lessons. It's lesson time, y'all. My little ticket just said. Jelly said, all of this, how do we push the agitators out? Because we know by design they put them in place to cause chaos. How do we demonstrate on a larger scale that the agitators are not part of the collective? Elise says, what we have been seeing through the cameras so far focus on the noise and not the peaceful protests. Let's use our cameras. Let's use our cameras. And we're going to go into lesson right now. We're going to do a lesson right now of how to photograph June 14th and any other kind of protests. So that way you are armed and ready to go out into these streets and photograph You say, oh, Ron, but I don't have a big camera. This is all you need. This is okay, there we go. That's all we need. Get excited. Get excited. Here we go. So are y'all guys ready for the lesson? Let me see what you guys are saying here. Kimmy Kim says, need people with passion and facts like him. Yes. Did you see that? Did you see him, the passion he had? Thank you, Elise, for sharing that with us. Shit, thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, here we go. It's lesson time. Now, this is very important, y'all. You're going to see that this slide presentation is not that much. Not many. I don't have any. Usually I have visuals and I have lots of graphics and stuff. No, this one is a very hardcore, high-hitting body of information to get you through any protest, any public march, wherever it may be, whenever it may be, for whatever it may be. These tips are going to help you. Okay, so photographing protests, how to do it right. Let's go. This is powerful and important. This is a powerful and important topic for our photography community. Photographing protests requires a careful balance of storytelling, ethics, and safety. Here are some practical tips for you. Number one, prioritize safety above all. Safety above all. Wear protective gear. Wear protective gear. Comfortable shoes, breathable clothing, eye protection. Like we have glasses, but sometimes we have people with goggles. And helmet. Sometimes I go out with it says I'm already riding my bicycle when I'm usually going. I already have my helmet on my head. You've seen me do that for some of those that saw me do Black Lives Matter in the protests in past. Because I've been in these streets. Stay aware of exit routes. Look around you. You should be always having one mindset of, how do I get out of this crowd if things go down quickly? Because if it goes down, it's going to go down quickly. Stay aware of exit routes as you're passing through streets and you're moving through streets with the crowd. Look at different streets, two-way streets, one-way streets. Which direction are they going? Keep that extra mind looking and moving and observing your exit routes. Here we go. Know multiple ways to leave if the crowd dynamics shift suddenly. Next, keep your gear secure. Use a crossbody camera strap or harness to minimize the risk of damage or snatching. Like a lot of people like to have the camera hanging. No. No camera hanging. When you are in a crowd situation, you want your camera as close as possible. So you want to put it inside nice and close to your chest, right? You don't want a long strap hanging down. You want to tighten up that strap so that way it's just enough room to pop up and pop down. Pop up and pop down. If you're using your smartphone, keep it in your hands nice and tight. Keep your hand, and don't just do it like this. Don't just do like this. Get your hand around it. When you're not photographing, get your hand around your phone. Right? Don't just, I'm just lollygagging, try to hold your camera with all of your hands, both hands, and take the shots. So that way, if you fall, you trip, you got your camera. You don't lose your camera. Or some crazy person that, maybe a little bit more, that's not with the crowd, may try to snatch your camera. Because there will be, always remember, in every protest crowd, there's usually antagonists. And they are there to start trouble. But always remember that they are around. Don't be fearful of them, but keep your precautions levels up. Next, number 2, positioning for strong shots and safety elevated vantage points. When I'm honest, well, let's just go through it and I'll share how I do it. Look for balconies, staircases, or slight elevations that offer a safer wide angle perspective. When I'm moving through with the crowd, I'm very rarely embedded in the crowd. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Stay on the outskirts of the crowd. To the left, to the right, you are, what's the saying? Flanking the crowd. Stay near the edges instead of deep within, allowing for escape options. You position yourself also on the outskirts because you may have the abilities at some points along the way to go up a flight of steps that's going to give you elevation to take the shot. Right? Or you may have a podium, some kind of podium that's right there. Or sometimes, in my case, because I've been doing this for a while, I find a good old lamp post. And I know how to climb on it, take the shot, and then I'm down. Because the lamp post is also, and we're going to get to the next thing, is my barrier. Here we go. Stay near barriers. Walls, light poles, or cars can provide cover if the atmosphere shifts. When you see me photographing in a protest, I am always, and I mentioned this to my meetup group, I am always near a lamppost. I am always near some unmovable object. Whether it be a car, whether it be a wall, I am always in it, next to it. So that way, if something happens, a gunshot goes off, or something happens that's crazy, that shifts, and people start fleeing and running, I got the wall, I got the lamppost. Always go against the crowd. For instance, if the crowd is moving from left to right, make sure your lamppost is on your left side. So that way, if people start charging and you stick right in the line with the light lamppost, all the people are moving past you. No one is bringing down the lamppost. So you see the picture? You see the image? So tuck yourself in immovable objects, lampposts, walls, cars, trucks, wherever's out there that's stationary. Tuck yourself in there, take your picture, move to the next unmovable object. Stay near barriers. Next, number 3. Anticipate movement and crowd psychology. Scan for shifts in tension. Observe the people. Keep your eyes on the people. Who's in there? Is anyone agitating? Is anyone being angry and kind of like got some, like they got a chip on their shoulder. Or draw yourself near the people that are fun, laughing, enjoying the moment, because you're in a protest doesn't mean you have to be angry. Yes, you are there to take a stand for something that's dear to your heart. However, you don't want to be around the angry people, the people that are antagonists. Here we go. Watch body language. Sudden movements, dense formations, or rapid dispersals can signal upcoming action. For instance, I was at the Labor Day parade last year. I was 1 block away from a shooting. Saw the crowd burst. It burst. I tucked myself behind a tree. People start moving behind me and in front of me, but I was tucked. And I knew just as soon as I saw 1 person running, 2 people running, then I saw 5 people running, then I saw 20 people running, I knew danger. When you see people starting to run, danger. Make sure your alert level increases. Look at what's going on around you. Look at the direction they're running from, where they're running to. Tuck yourself behind the unmovable object. Watch body language. Observe police positioning. Identify where officers are stationed and how they're engaging with protesters. Always watch the police officers. The police officers, I learned this from a journalist class last year at Photoville, for photojournalists. Learned this last year. Observe the police positionings. Without going into major detail of all that, because there's particular ways that police officers stand when they're about to do something. They're in a delta formation. What does that mean? They're in a group setting. What does that mean? Are they grabbing their mask or going into their pockets to get their, gas mask? Are they getting ready? Are they look at them? Are they going to they're grabbing sticks and getting ready for something? Watch police officers. Or are they just simply laughing and having a good time with the crowd? Observe police positioning. Identify where officers are stationed and how they're engaging with the protesters. Also, avoid bottlenecks. Stay away from areas where crowds are heavily pressed against structures with no clear exit. Can I say that again? Avoid bottlenecks. That means wide going narrow. Wide going narrow. Let it clear out. Get ahead of the crowd. As you see, it's going to narrow. Get ahead of the crowd. Or wait until the crowd gets through, and then there's a gap within the crowd, and then you move through the bottleneck. I'm speaking from experience. I've been on these streets. I walked in protests. I photographed protests. I'm not giving you something I don't know. And I also last year, like I said, they had a great class on this at the Photoville. Avoid the bottlenecks. Next one, number 4. Ethical storytelling. Blur faces when needed. If photographing protesters in situations where retaliation is possible, ensure anonymity with framing or editing. Sometimes you want to blur the faces. Like when you start editing your photos, blur the faces. So that way, authorities don't go after the people if something breaks out. But again, we are trying to look for the joy in the protests. So that's probably not going to be a problem. But if things go sideways, and we photographers still click away. But be conscious that we protect our protesters, our fellow protesters. We want to protect them from the authorities. Right? And this is not the ones that are doing something bad and criminal. I'm talking about the ones that are legitimately being attacked, like we saw on the news yesterday with the footage of those police officers taking down that dude and then trampling over him with the horse and then grabbing him by the backpack and then dragging him back down to the ground. Right? That stuff, if you're around, you may photograph it. But there may be other people throwing bottles and all that stuff because they're agitated, they're angry at what they're seeing. Try to blur their faces out. Just saying. Here's another one. Seek consent when possible. While public demonstrations are often fair game, respectful engagement builds trust. What do we mean by that? Is that, yes, you can take the picture. Yes, you can take the picture of anyone. Like it said, it's fair game. But go up to people if you see a situation that's homey and wholesome and like, oh, this is a great photo, and you want to take pictures of people and pose them, ask permission. Say, hey, I love what you're wearing. I love what you look like. I love what you're doing. Can I photograph you? You look amazing. Can I photograph you? You look great. Can I photograph you? Do I have permission to photograph you? Right? Seek consent when possible. Next one. Avoid sensationalism or sensationalizing. Focus on authenticity rather than dramatizing chaos for engagement. Tell a story. Don't just take pictures of just, the horror. Take pictures of your subject, but how it relates to what's going on. Does that make sense? Like you can take a picture of a homeless guy on the street, right? If you take a picture of him by himself, what is your story? What's your end game? But if you take a picture of the homeless person and you are kind of telling a story, then embody the composition. Embody it in your composition to tell the story. Don't be a sensationalist. Don't try to get the drama. Avoid it if possible, but get a great photo. Get a great photo. I see some of you guys are chiming in. Let me just pause and get some of what you guys are saying. Facts. Oh, you guys are really talking. Oh, you guys are in here. All right. Here we go. I see here. Jazzy says, okay, hold on a second. Here we go. There we are. Rosemary's in the building. Rosemary is in the building. But Anthony says, stay girded. Now we're talking about stay girded. She says, be there in live first and foremost. Recognize the differences. Be there to protest with love for your fellow man and your neighbors. Rosemary saying she's loving this. Vigilance training. Love this. Anthony says, yes, that's one of the first things I check for when I'm at a protest. I tend to position myself near the cool and calm ones. Rosemary says, good one. Derek says, keep at least 6 feet of space all around you. Sometimes that's difficult, but that's why when you're on the fringes, if you're on the flanking areas of the protest, then you got more room, either to the left or to the right. But do not embed yourself into the crowd. Okay, let's go to the next one. We're ready now. We're ready. We're ready to move on. Here we go. Next one, number 5, and the last one. Protect your work and yourself. Back up images quickly. Use cloud syncing or multiple memory cards in case of confiscation or damage. No press protections. If covering as a journalist, familiarize with local press freedom laws. You can get those online on Google. Don't engage directly in conflict. Stay neutral as an observer rather than becoming involved in protest actions. Like, you see a police officer abusing a person. Do not antagonize the police officer. You are the photographer. You are there to observe. You are there to photograph. The best thing you can do is photograph what's going on. Don't yell at the police officer. Don't yell at the person that's antagonizing. Don't try to fight people. You are a photojournalist. You're playing the role of a photojournalist. And go out and be the fly on the wall. Be the fly on the wall. Here's another one. Rosemary says, don't allow the crowd to push you towards the chaos. Exactly. Again, back up your information clearly. Do all that good stuff. Now, here's a little extra tip that I learned from the photojournalist class. If you are at protests and you think the protest could go awry, my contractor is, I hope you guys are not hearing my contractor working, but if you go to a protest, one trick of the trade for photojournalists and photographers is to take a Sharpie. I don't have Sharpies on the other side of here. Take a Sharpie. Y'all gonna be like shocked with this. I'm saying this. Take a Sharpie and write your lawyer's name on your forearm in case you are rounded up. You are rounded up by mistake. Because if it goes awry and you are in a protest, whenever you're in these massive crowds, take your forearm, right, and write your information on your forearm, over here and over there, your lawyer number, and maybe that number you need to call to let people know you are all right. Because most of the times when they round you up, they take away these guys from you. And most of us have all of our information in here. So we lose our phones. We don't have our lawyers' telephone numbers. We don't have grandma's number. We don't have mama's number. We don't have Uncle Joe's. We don't have the numbers that are necessary to get us help. Hey, I've been rounded up with a bunch of folks here I am at the police station. And I just called you to let you know where I am. I learned that from the photojournalist class last year, and it was worth my while to learn that. I live with that information now. That is that's a Bible verse. Right? Number 2. Oh, Rosemary says something right in here. Rosemary says something here. Talk to God only. Ask for constant guidance. Keep your positive energy for good up. When you feel that diminishing, remove yourself. When you see that things are changing, when the atmosphere is changing, get out, move, run, leave. I hope these tips help you. This weekend and forever, whenever there's protests, there are going to be a lot of them. And we are going to be out in these streets. And you're going to need these tips. I say, send this video to all your friends that are going to be out in the streets. Right? But definitely, though, I say you cannot go wrong. And you may say, oh, but I'm just going out with the family. We're just going to have a good time. We're going to support. Anytime there are masses of people, you must think that the worst can happen. And can I throw in one more? Can I throw in one more tip that I am now I just put into action yesterday? Especially if you are going to a protest and you are going to be in those streets, get rid of your biological opening of your phone. Don't use your fingerprint. Learn this in photojournalism class. Do not use your finger. Do not use face recognition. Because when the police round you up, if they just happen to round you up, they may want to go into your phone. And the only way you can stop them from going into your phone is by not having the bio entries, fingerprints, face recognition. They can only go into your phone if they ask for permission for the PIN code. And they can't force you because they need a warrant. So we all need to get back to the PIN versus these I love my face recognition. It helps me so much in so many things. It's like I was like, I don't want to give it up. I don't want to give it up. But we are living in a different age, y'all. If someone pulls you, if a renegade or rogue police officer pulls you over, or ICE or any of these people pull you over, the first thing they're going to do is take your phone. They're going to click on it and put it to your face, and then they can get into your phone. So that's your bonus tip. That's your bonus tip. Learn that in their wonderful photojournalism class last year at Photoville. That class was worth everything. So guys, be vigilant, know your surroundings, but also have a good time. This protest, No King's March and protest, is about also just being together with people and camaraderie. Get out into the streets, show your solidarity with everyone, Black, white, Spanish, Asian, everyone, we're all together, supporting one another, working together to say we are not going to settle for a dictatorship. or kingship. We are going to keep our democracy. And let the church say amen. Let the photographers in the building say amen. Let the photographers say amen. Let the photographers say, yes, so be it. Did you learn anything today? I see in here. I didn't even have to say it. Some of you already said it. Cass says, good tips. Jazzy says, great tips, Ron. Rosemary says, we should never turn against our neighbors this hardcore. All dictators do this. It's not right. Rosemary says, we love our melting pot of good people. Yes. Yes. He says that part, Ron. Okay. Let me just share my little banners with you. You know I had to do that at the end. Here we go. Here we go. You know we know how we roll. If you want to stay in contact with me, make sure you join my email list today. Go to ronlewisphotos.com and then sign up for the email newsletter. Make sure you do that. And also, if you are looking for an event photographer, I am an event photographer. That includes journalism, photojournalism. That is an event. Those are events. Event photography, photographing events. I do photographs. I do events for corporate, personal, commercial. I do it all. If it's an event, I photograph it. Also, thank you for the Patreon members in our community who support what we do here. Your support helps us create amazing content. If you are not a Patreon member, just go to patreon.com and put in Ron Lewis Photos and become a Patreon member and support what we do here. If you get information, if these tips that we do every Tuesday matter to you, if there's some part of our week that we share matters to you, then support what we do here because we are a community. Okay? So again, thank you to our Patreon members. I love you. I support you. And also, Photograph Your World. Visual Basic Photography 101. I do tutoring, y'all. Fun tutoring using your camera model, creative instructions, and learning at your pace. Also in New York City, available in person tutoring in this area. Unless you want to fly me to wherever you are, I can do tutoring there too. But home, work, and play. Photograph Your World. If you need a tutor, reach out to me. Let's schedule you on the calendar. Okay, I think we got it all. Did you guys? I know you guys learned something. You obviously learned something today, and I know you're going to walk away today much smarter than you arrived. Yes, right. That's right. I see Rosemary says hugs to everyone. Much thanks. Thanks, Ron, she says. Janet says. Fifi has the applause. And Brian says, amen. And Janet says, great info. And Derek says, I just turned off my facial unlock on my phone. Amen. Oh, right. Cass says, and she sends her applause. Okay. That's what we're doing here. That's what it's about. Keeping each other safe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is our Wisdom Wednesday. Will we have a guest? I don't know. If not, we'll do our water cooler Wednesday. Either way, we'll be here. See you tomorrow. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.